We're your hosts,
Aaron Bacus
and Jason Kindler.
We like to sit down with our guests to hear their journey, their challenges, and how they impact the local community.
So grab a seat, tune in, and let's get inspired by Jacksonville's everyday workforce.
Welcome to Hometown Jax. Trevor Hersey, right?
That's right.
Well, good to meet you. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate that. What does it feel like when a random person that you don't know texts you out of the blue and says, "Will you come on my podcast?"
Man, I was like, is this a trap?
Right.
It's like what you call it, a gotcha moment.
What's he selling? Yeah. What do I have to do?
How much do I have to pay?
Yes.
To be on it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, we're happy you're here. I've been wanting to interview a pastor for a long period of time, and you come highly recommended.
Thank you.
From Logan. I had to give her a shout out. She wanted that. So
yes, thank you, Logan. Also, probably my mother. She probably is highly recommended. That's about it.
That's it. We can always count on our mother for likes on social media.
Shout out to you,
I'm right
Sandra.
there with you. I'm
Love
right
you,
there
Mom.
with you. So I want to get into your story. I want to hear what it's like to be a pastor, and then I kind of want to see what your advice is to other people that want to be pastors and go into the ministry and things like that. So tell me your story. Where were you born?
So I was born in St. Augustine.
Okay.
So born and raised St. Augustine, at least till 5th grade. Then my family moved down to Palm Coast.
Okay.
And so we moved down there for a little while. Went middle school, high school down there. My dad still is a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
And so at that point it was restaurants.
Yeah.
So he was down there doing some of that kind of stuff. And then we fell on some like really, really hard financial times, really as a family. And so that was awful in like middle school, high school. And I just knew like, hey, I just want to do something. Like I didn't know what it was. I was always, I guess like subpar, sub-average in everything. So like sports, like everyone's good, like when you're on like the little league team and stuff like that. But when you get into like real sports, real competitive, like high school stuff, you realize, all right, this isn't going to happen. And our family's super poor. So what am I going to do? I didn't know. So I got in a lot of trouble, a lot of just, I don't want to say the wrong crowd because I'm still friends with all of them.
Right.
But we were just doing really dumb stuff as teenagers and getting in trouble. And my mom's like, hey, I got to get you away from these people. So we moved back to St. Augustine.
Okay.
And at that point, I was just going through a rough time. 17 years old, I thought like life was over. Like this, like my life just sucks, and like all this kind of stuff. I was like, maybe I'll try. I grew up in church. Maybe I'll just try this Jesus thing. And I remember praying. I was like, God.
But you grew up in church.
Yeah, I grew up in church, but I didn't grow up with like as Jesus as my like king. Does that make sense? Like, so I did grow up in church, but he wasn't like me. That was just what I did with my family. And I was like, all right, Lord, I'll give you 2 years. Like as if I'm Jesus, I'll give you 2 years. And I showed back up at church, and I fell in love with the local church.
Okay.
Fell in love with it. I just couldn't believe like all these different people from all these walks of life. And I'm sure y'all see it here too. All these different walks of life showing up to one place and just trying to like help other people. I fell in love with it. Had no idea I could speak or anything like that. Went to a very small Bible college. Got into ministry, got on staff.
So you 17 graduated high school and then decided to go to Bible college?
Yep.
Where was Bible college?
It was that was back in Palm Coast, coincidentally, right?
Okay.
So it was a very, very small, it's not even around anymore, very small Bible college. Got into that, and then I kind of, I'm at this point 20 years old.
How long is that? Bible
It just
college?
depends.
Okay.
It depends. Like I'm not a good test taker, but like I know how to use Google, and so like it just depends like how quick you can get through it, and each one is different. Like my sister went to one down in Lakeland. She went to SEU, and she went for 5 years, right? Wow. So like everywhere's different, and I got into it, but the issue was this: I was still so infatuated with the local church and the whole idea, right? That I kind of fell in love with that and like the big production of it and all of that kind of stuff. Was on staff, ended up getting married, having kids, right? And then I just went through a really, like all this good stuff was happening, but there was nothing happy in here. Does that make sense? You want me to keep going with the story?
Does make sense.
Okay,
yeah,
so like,
keep going.
So man, I realized at this point, like I've dealt with depression my whole life, had no idea.
Okay.
No idea. And like I just saw everybody dealt with that. I thought everybody had chest pains when things weren't going, or just like really high highs and really low lows and spirals.
Sounded like a heightened anxiety kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. And then, but then you would just like, there's no joy in anything.
Okay.
And I'm like a Christ follower. Like I'm on stage preaching, on staff at a church at this point.
And still having that weight.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I would try to like fake it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole fake it till you make it. Like, oh, I'll get through this. And And then I started dealing with suicidal ideations. And so like this starts snowballing. And then I would try
what does that mean? Like,
where you're starting to picture how to take your own life.
Oh, man.
So like, going through all this stuff, and this was happening a ton. And then I ended up losing my family. Like my wife was like, hey, I'm done. Like I'm out. And that was just this whole realization moment where I was like, man, something isn't right. Something isn't how it should be. And, fast forward, COVID happens, right? So I ended up getting off staff at that church and going to work for my family business. And then we ended up launching Champion Church now, and just a whole different approach, whole different just like minimalistic feel. And like our whole idea is to just help people win. Like that's our like goal. Like, how can we help? We call it like champion every season, but just how can we help you win in life? And like, how can we get outside of the church and be part of philanthropy and all that kind of stuff? So that was like a huge, like 5 minute of my life.
I'm trying to figure out where to start there. That's amazing. So, how did you figure out how to deal with that depression?
So I still struggle with it. Like it's something I still struggle with to this day. I'm 36 years old. Which I sound like, you remember Chris Farley?
Yes.
Yes. My name is Matt Foley. And anyhow, that's all I always think about. I'm 36. I still struggle. Obviously, I lean on my faith a ton, but went through counseling, medication, all of that kind of stuff. And just like, I think I find the most peace when I'm truly, it sounds so cliche, like just helping other people win in life. And of course, we believe that's through Christ, right? Mm-hmm. But like, how do we help these people win? Like that's that's how I think I deal with it the most.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I listen to a lot of podcasts and things like that, and I hear that as a common theme. Like you get the most satisfaction of helping others, 100%. And in reality, it helps you.
Yep, 100%.
You think you're just helping others, which you are,
right? But
it's really helping you. Yeah, it sounds like that happened to you.
And it's still happening. Like, it's these moments where if I'm dealing with a spiral or I'm dealing with something heavy, I will often ask myself, I'll do this like, I don't know, this like just checkup of like, okay, where am I? Have I helped anybody lately? Have I sat with my family lately? Have I spent time? Have I focused on my kids lately? It's so easy to get caught up and just going. And for me, it's Proverbs 11:25. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed.
Oh, what a great verse.
And so I cling on to that. Okay. Like if I can refresh somebody else, man, there's a promise that for me, I'm going to be refreshed.
Interesting. It's so timely to hear that, because I think it's such an important message. Like when you're down on yourself, circumstances aren't working to your thought process, focus on somebody else.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that that helps you, number one, and probably makes you realize that you're not in that bad of a place.
Right. Yeah. When you start seeing what other people are going through as well. And our churches, we're really big on like wheelchair ramps and helping people like that.
That's awesome.
And helping people. Like for me, we were so poor. Like I remember having to get the most minimal groceries or having to have, go to a food pantry as a kid. So like for us, that's big in our heart as well, of helping those. Like, listen, life it's not always going to be like this.
Right.
Like this season might be like this right now. It's not always going to be like that. And you're right. You just realize it gives you perspective. Maybe that's the best way.
Well, you mentioned your family business too. Yep. You said your dad was a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, still is.
We like entrepreneurs here.
Yeah,
we like
100%.
The spirit. Keep trying. So he did restaurants before, but now what's the business?
Yeah, so now we make and fabricate like steel braces. So it's for like if a floating countertop, like if you wanted a countertop and you didn't want to bust your knees on one of the big corbels. Like we fabricate these steel braces that would go under it, and it looks like your countertop is completely floating. So it's steel, aluminum, or we have another patented one. It's like a webbed.
Wow.
It's called the original granite bracket. And we do shower benches as well, like floating shower benches. Anything that you want to shelf floating, that kind of stuff, that's what we sell. And it's all e-commerce all over the U.S.
And how did he get from restaurants to that? That seems like a long way away.
Yeah, so we went restaurants and we went construction, when it was like fun and good, like what was that, 04, 05, Dad, he was just trying to start over. He lost everything. And but then we all know what happened 07, 08. And so, but we were doing like kitchens and baths and stuff like that. So we started realizing, as beautiful as those corbels can be, like under the countertops or on that high bar top, man, you could like have a party and somebody comes away looking like they like all busted kneed up, and people wanted something to make it float. So we just started making and fabricating these things on the back of a trailer at a job site, putting in granite or something. And then, my dad's like, hey, I think maybe we can really start selling these things and really start pushing these things. And they went through a hard time through that as well. And then, they were like, man, can we just have 3 orders a day? Can we just do 3 braces a day? And now we're fabricating, 1,000, 1,100 a day.
A day?
100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
Wow,
So,
that's insane.
so
what a great way to find a niche in the market. Like, that is really cool.
Yeah, my dad he makes me nervous a lot, but he's incredibly smart with those things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's even like the church stuff. It's kind of just come even to like for us, like our church model is just different. Like we're as minimalist as we can.
Right.
Bare bones as we can, which is so different from me. When I worked at a church for 10.5 years. It was and I'm not against production.
I understand.
Any of that stuff.
Right.
But we just went the other end. And then I was like, hey, like I think, there's a lot of churches online, but what if we did it just different and just focus, not just like it's a second hand thing, like really focused on it. Like I was saying, like implement Google Ads and implement advertising and get in front of people. And he's just kind of encouraged, me as leading the church to take that risk too.
That's interesting. So you started working for his business, and then you still had the itch of being the pastor and things like that. So you're kind of doing them simultaneously.
Yeah, I am now. I don't know if I still had. I blame my parents and my wife for that. Like I was good, man. Like I don't know. I was just like I did it. This is a true story. I was at a Melting Pot, right? Are we allowed to say restaurant?
Yes.
On here? Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm not a big fan of Melting Pot. My family loves it. And there's like the food's great.
Yeah.
It's just if I go to a restaurant, I just kind of want it cooked.
Right, exactly. You don't want to do the work, man. It's okay.
I'm not trying not to be out there and I don't know how to do this oil and frying this stuff. I'm a hazard. And so anyhow, we're sitting there and I literally asked, I wanted to be their foreman. At that point, they had a foreman position open and I wanted to be the foreman. And my dad's like, no. And I'm like getting frustrated. I'm like, I want to make real money. That's what I was like, I've worked in church. Like I want to make a real paycheck for once. And like, yeah, but we don't feel like that's what you're called to do. And I was like, I don't care what I'm called to do. I'm called to pay the bills.
Right.
That's what I'm called to do. I'm not asking y'all for money, so, but they wouldn't let it. They put me on their maintenance crew. So that's what I do. I cut grass. I trim palms. I take care of their different properties and that kind of stuff. And I'll work on the floor sometimes or on the e-commerce side, or on the advertising side. But they were like, hey, we want you to still pursue what's in your heart. Okay. And so I blame them and my wife, Felicia, 100%.
Well,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I get that. So tell me about your family. You mentioned you had a few kids?
Yeah. So I had a son with my first wife. Okay. And we're all like, we have a great awesome co-parenting relationship. And then I met my wife, Felicia, a couple years after that. I met her and I was like, this is it. And then we had a daughter together as well. So I have a son that is 11. His name is Chasen Legend. And then I have a daughter, Maddie Grace, that is 5.
Wow.
As well. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm good. Like I'm done. Like,
you're done?
Oh my gosh.
Come on, man. That's amateur hour. You got to get to 3 at least.
Brother, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm like trying to lead a very small church, trying to raise my kids where they can contribute to society, trying to, be a husband, all that kind of stuff. I'm good. I don't need another mouse to feed. That's
I got you, man. I got you. I mean, it's just when you go to 3, you need 2 hotel rooms. You need to get a bigger car. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
That's the last thing I need is another money mouth running around. I can promise you that. I'm good. Also, I feel like I picked the worst flattering shirt in the world.
Don't worry about that. I'm not flattered at all. So you look much better.
Brother, I'm telling you, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, this is the worst shirt I could have picked.
Well, I like the church thing there.
Thank you,
great.
man.
It's advertising.
Well, yeah. I'm like, man, if you can't rock the brand,
right?
Like, who is?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who
exactly.
Is? Anyhow, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's great. So I also saw you're big into workouts.
Yeah.
I was trolling your Facebook a little bit.
Yeah.
You're part of this workout group, I think.
Yeah.
Too.
So F45, I go to F45.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's a part of me dealing with my depression and stuff like that too. I had this really low. If you've ever dealt with someone that's watching this, ever dealt with depression and this kind of stuff, that's deeply rooted and nothing against circumstantial.
What's the difference between depression and just being in a bad mood? I know that I'm not trying to trivialize it,
no,
but
yeah.
A lot of people are moody, and how does it? I mean, I am, and then how does it just escalate to another level when it's depression?
Yeah, I think there's a depth to it. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Like if I'm moody, trust, I get that way too. Like I can fix that with, what would I fix it with? Especially right now. Okay, you know the little Hostess, like cakes, the little Christmas trees.
That fixes it?
Oh, I mean about 4. About 4 of them fixes it. Or those little ones that are like the pecan pies that are out right now. Like about 3.5 of those will fix it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that.
Surface level.
Right. There's just this depth, man, where you're just like, man, I don't have, there's no joy in anything I'm doing. And there's this, that's the only way I know to describe it. There's like this, maybe this cloak of sadness.
Okay.
And man, I could have the greatest things happening, right? Like I could get some great news. Like we just got, it goes in effect. I don't know when this comes out, but this goes in effect. We're in 39 states in penitentiaries for the church and we're putting stuff together in all these different penitentiaries on 630,000 tablets that are in the prisons. Like a really, really awesome, like I would never have fathomed that I would be able to do something like that.
Right.
But even with that big win and that big opportunity, you're still like, there's still this low side to it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you hit a mark at work or you hit a certain level on a Sunday or whatever. There's still this low, like just like, man, why am I not happy with this?
And that's, meeting you and talking to you now, that's like so hard to believe. Like,
oh my goodness.
I mean, you're full of energy and seem very happy.
I just, man, I don't know. It's this deep thing of it's just, and it goes in cycles, and I try to work through it. Like I said, I'm big on counseling. I'm completely good with it. I take medication. And of course I lean on my faith. Like I believe like Jesus said, hey, there's an abundant life. I'm like, hey, I want that. Like absolutely. I want to live that. And then working out came into that role. And my older sister was getting married, and we all went to Mexico for it. And we're out there, and again, I'm in Mexico at this beautiful resort. I mean, I don't want to say this like boastfully. I didn't pay anything.
Right.
Like I think I didn't have to pay for the flights; they were on points. And I'm out there for free for my sister's wedding, and I still wasn't happy.
Right.
Like I'm sitting in this beautiful thing. I wasn't happy. And
is it an anxiousness to get to the next thing? Is that part of it sometimes?
Sometimes it can be. Okay. Of what's next. This is exciting, but what's the next thing?
Right.
There can 100%. I think some of that is even that entrepreneur side. That's deep in my DNA as well. Of like, this is good, but what's next?
Right, exactly.
This is good, but what's coming up? And
I always say like the greatest skill of any human being is really to learn to be happy in the moment. Like it's
That's so
I think
good.
it's so. Well, for a lot of people, it's not difficult, and I admire them for having that.
Oh, yeah. I'm jealous of them.
Right,
the time.
exactly.
I'm like, rub some of that off on me, please.
Right.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's a great point of it. And I'm talking to my wife in this moment, and I'm like, I can't even enjoy this.
Right.
Like, why can't I enjoy this? And she's like, were you anxious because I was doing the wedding? And I'm like, there's 30 people here. And if I screw it up, they don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're in Mexico at a resort.
Right.
And I said to her, I was really out of shape. I was almost 60 pounds heavier than I am right now.
Wow.
And I was like, I think I want to do this thing. There's this gym right around the corner called F45. Yeah. And but I haven't worked out since high school. Like at all. Like that just wasn't. I blew my knee out in high school, tore my MCL, my ACL, and broke my kneecap, all in these different pieces. I didn't work out since then. And I was good. Like there was nothing inside of me that wanted to work out. And I was like, I think I just need to do something. Okay. And so we get back, and it's like the next weekend's Father's Day weekend. I don't bring this thing up at all. Like me, it was probably just in the moment.
Right.
She gets me a membership for Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, this is not a gift.
Right.
This is torture. And I'm like, well, did you do a month? She goes, no, I signed you up for 6 months. I go, 6 months? I've never even been. Like, I haven't stepped foot in a gym at all. And I ended up being a part of it and knew some people in there that were just super. And it became this incredible community where every morning, now I go 5 a.m. and 7:30 every single morning outside of Sundays. Wow. And I love it. I just fell in love with it.
Well, it's a release.
100%.
Sure.
And man, it's just, there's like, I don't know any emails that are coming in. I don't have any like pastoral care stuff of people hit me like, hey, this is happening. There's none of that. I'm just in there. I can just be myself. I can almost, I look death in the face and I wonder why. I say often like, I hate this place.
Right,
like, why am I here? But it truly is. A release is a good way to put it.
Well, that's great.
Sure.
I'm glad you found that avenue. Well, let's get into the church. And I mean, you just breezed over the whole penitentiary thing. You got to tell me a little bit about that. So is it, have you, obviously you figured out a way to be able to minister to folks in incarcerated, right?
Yeah. Well, so when we launched Champion, we said, hey, as much attention as we put in person, we want to put that much online, which is craziness in the church world if you're a startup church.
Right.
Now, if you're a larger church, of course, you're going to have naturally the views, the engagement, all of that the shares, all of that kind of stuff, just because your footprint is larger. When you're starting up and you don't even have a building and you're meeting in a cafeteria, that's not what most people would expect. They're just thinking, for lack of a better term, I'm trying to think of a better way to put this, but get butts and seats.
Right.
Get people in the building.
Right,
that's how you're going to grow.
Right.
So we're like, no. We want to focus on both.
Okay.
And with the in-person, not only just going to be in person, we're going to focus on philanthropy locally.
Okay.
As much as we can do, as much as we can give away. That's what we're going to pay the bills and we're going to give away. Is truly, we don't have any staff members, any of that kind of stuff. Give as much of it away as we can. And then online, let's invest there and just reach people. They're watching this online. Right. We're connecting because of online. It's there. And it's not something that just famous or these super wealthy people have access to, or some random person that went viral. Let's get in front of people.
Right.
And so we just invested in that and started with a camera in my living room. It looked like, here, let me think.
Not the refined image that
Brother,
you have now.
listen, it looked, what was that good Christian movie? Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
So it looked like the Blair Witch. It was awful. Like there's none of this stuff online anymore because it is that. It looked, but here was the thing. It was just getting in the game.
Right.
How do we get in the game? How do we take a step? How do we just get out there? Like instead of worried about what step 4,712 is, what is step 1?
Exactly.
And if you can't get out there and have 2 people watch and it's your mom both times, then what do we do? You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till now if we put something up online. I don't say this boastfully at all, but if I put our weekend stuff online, I know, especially the last couple weeks, we're going to have 35,000 people watch.
That's amazing.
Now we have 140 in the cafeteria.
In the cafeteria.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's it. But I know, like online, how this is going to reach. So it's both. So we have all of this. I have literally thousands of hours of material. I'm like praying one day. I read this. I'm in Matthew 25, and I'm reading where Jesus is like, hey, here's what you're going to answer at Judgment Day, right? And I don't know if I can't talk super religious.
No,
just
you're good.
Stop me.
You're
Like,
good.
I don't want to overstep anything.
I brought a pastor on. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess if they see this, they're like, okay. So he's talking about these things that we're going to have to answer at Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Like, did you feed the hungry?
Right.
Like, did you go visit the sick? Did you visit those in prison? Like, did you clothe the naked? And I'm like reading these things, and this sounds bad, but like honestly, I was like, okay, we're doing this as a church. We're doing this. In the prison part. I was like, well, we're really not. We had a little bit of stuff.
Is that in the Bible, prison? The word
Yeah,
prison?
100%. Yeah.
Really?
Without a doubt.
Interesting.
Jesus literally said, visit those in prison. Right? And so I'm like, okay, well, how, like right now with my schedule, I really, like just physically I can't,
right.
But what can we do? And I just had this, like, I know this sounds super almost cliche or simple. I was like, Lord, like we suck there. And what can we do? Like, I really didn't know. And I hear someone mention this thing called God Behind Bars. So I just throw it in my Google machine, pull it up. And I'm like, well, I can't go into a thing right now. It's just, I can't right now. And then I see this thing that's in 2001, they launched this app on these tablets that are in prison. There's 1.8 million tablets in prisons across the U.S. right now.
Interesting.
So they're on 630,000 of them. And they're about to go to 1.3 million.
Wow.
Here's, like, I want to say January.
Okay.
So I just send a contact, just like a little contact button. I'm like, hey, I've got all this stuff. We have a little studio in St. Augustine as well. I have the access to all of it. I'd love to just know more. They reach back out. We have a couple conversations. You have to pay to be on it because they have to pay to be on these tablets.
Yeah.
And I brought it to our church. I was like, hey, this is just where we're at. Honestly, it's a little bit out of our philanthropy budget. I think maybe we can put it in next year, but 2 people come up and say, hey, we just want to take care of it. Like, that's close to our heart. We're going to take care of it.
Wow.
And I was like, it blew my mind. And so, like, you still have to go through, like, a process for them to accept you. And I think in Florida, in Jacksonville area, there's only 2 other churches that I know of in the Jacksonville area that are on it as well. And so I think I could be wrong. The 3rd Northeast Florida church in it. And there's only, like, 20 churches in Florida all together that are on it.
So it's an app that has multiple...
it's all Christian program.
Okay.
100%. From like podcast to sermons to books, like all of that kind of...
Interesting.
It's all on there, but they're getting, since 2021, they've had like 300 million views.
Wow.
It is insane. Like, like just how much traction you can get on this thing.
Right.
And so it just worked out, and man, we literally launched this Saturday on.
You do kind of look like Johnny Cash a little bit. Going
Well, you know, first of all, thank you. I'll take that. I would take, and I love the color black for sure.
I do
for
too.
sure. That's just my go-to.
What a great way to reach people. Like that's like something you don't even really fathom. Like, do people in prison have iPads? I mean, I guess they do. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it until I'm like, oh, that's something. Okay, well, we can do that. We have that access too. And so it's just a cool thing for, the people that call Champion home. Like, we say this all the time. Like, you're not giving just to the church, you're giving through it. And we are in a very unique position where we don't have to have staff right now.
Right.
Like, like we don't have, our rent is so minimal at the school and stuff like that, where we can give a lot away. And I'm not like, I would never throw shade on anybody else who couldn't, but we can just give a ton away and just help people. We got wheelchair ramps going, especially this time of the year. Man, every other week I feel like we're doing another wheelchair ramp for somebody and helping feed people. I'm not just saying this like pat ourselves on the back, but it's just like there's a big need out there. And I think if we're just like looking like, hey, what can I do? How can I help?
We'll get back to the story in just a second, but while you're listening, here's something you should know if you live in Northeast Florida. If you're self-employed and trying to buy a home, it's not as hard as you might think. We work with business owners, freelancers, and creatives every single day. People who don't fit the traditional housing molds, and we're here to let you know that we have a real loan programs that make homeownership possible. We've helped tons of local business owners and creatives get approved using flexible loan options that work for them and their business. First Coast Mortgage Funding is proud to sponsor Hometown Jax right here in Jacksonville.
Well, so did you found the church pretty much?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that like? Like, how do you found a church? So you have to file the paperwork with the IRS. I'm assuming that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So you have to start. I want to say you have like 18 months or 20 months to get your 501.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
But you can start practicing.
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
You can start taking in donations, all that kind of stuff. And you have to start with people actually wanting to do it.
Right. So it's like day one, like anybody want to come?
Yeah, we met at the car museum, classic car museum in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
We put it out there because some people like, oh, well, I liked your preaching when I was on staff and that kind of stuff. And we just kind of met and I laid this thing out of like, I can remember when I told the initial launch team, like, we want to be as practical as we can in everything we do. Like, I don't want to talk like where people don't understand what we're talking about. We want to be so practical, so involved in the community and so involved online as well. And I was like, this is not going to look like any other church you've went to. I promise you that. It will not look like any of that. So we had, 60 or 70 people show up for a free meal that night. That shout out mom and dad paid for that. And like 17 said yes. Okay. Which I was actually shocked there was that many that said yes.
What, committed to being a member?
Oh, hey, we're in. Now, we didn't say like, hey, you had to buy it. Like,
right.
Just in, we're going to do what we can. My wife and I took a loan out on our house to get the equipment and stuff like that. And we had a few
equipment for the music. And,
well, you got to think, you have no seats.
Right.
Like, you don't have seats. You don't have a drop cord. You don't have a, like you said, the speaker.
You don't even think
you don't even, like, one bit you don't think about. Like, how are you going to, there's this, like, curtain that you put up that's called scuba. And it, like, to the same, like, ceiling in here, it magnetizes to that kind of stuff. And you don't think about it. Then you got to set it up. And then you got to tear it down.
Right.
And you do this guy, and you find out real quick who actually believes in the church and who doesn't. And when we launched, I think our first Sunday we had like 61 people or something like that.
Pretty amazing.
It did. Within 2 weeks, Aaron, here's what I grew it down to: 4. Outside of just our team, there was 4 people showing up. And I remember thinking, what have I done? Like, we missed God on this. Like, was this a pride thing? Did I just want to hear myself? Like, all this kind of stuff. We just kept grinding and kept grinding. Part of it, I'm like, I've got a loan on my house.
Right.
That I'm going to still show up. We're still going to do this stuff. And then people start seeing the vision. You start meeting people you never, and I'm sure the same thing here, you never in a million years think you would meet just good people. Like, just really, really good people. They're like, hey, yeah, I see the vision. And I love the simplistic, minimalistic take, and I love the philanthropy side. I love the practical side, and just run with us.
And what year was that when it started?
We started in May of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, May of 2022. Bounced around to a few different smaller places, and we ended up at Catalinas Elementary, which is right downtown St. Augustine, like dead downtown St. Augustine. So yeah, that's where we're at now, and of course we're looking for buildings and all that kind of stuff all the time. Of like that, we know that's our next step, but we have said the whole time, like, we won't go into a place if we have to sacrifice philanthropy. If we have to sacrifice these things, like being able to be in the prisons, like if we have to sacrifice that, it's not worth it to us. Like truly, I'll set up in a cafeteria for the rest of my life if I have to.
Right.
Because I just believe in what we're doing.
And how many members do you have now?
We're averaging 160 something.
But as much as how as engaged online you are, like you really have a lot of members that aren't members. Like they're just viewers. Which is amazing.
It's really cool to see those stories of people will write in, DM in. And when you're advertising, you get a lot of, like I classify them this, like just low cost views. You know what I'm saying? And people, and they just, hey, they were dealing with, I don't know, like right now we're talking about values, essentially. Like they just wanted maybe a new value. They're never going to follow the church. They're never going to be a part of the vision, but they just need something. And for us, that's cool. Yeah. Well, like that's completely good. But if we have these different handfuls of different people and different, it always blows. There's a guy in New Orleans, man, his name is Terrence. Never met him. This guy will share everything, comment everything. He supports the church financially. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my, and like I've never met him. And I'm like, I joke around on camera, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fly out and just have lunch with you one day. But at the same time, I'm balling on a budget. So we might just have to FaceTime.
But I mean, that's where we are in the world today, though. Like
100%.
You're going to where people are,
right?
And they're not in the well. I mean, yes, people still go to church and all of that, but and that's great, but people want to do it online.
Absolutely.
I mean, whatever you think about it, it doesn't really matter. That's what people are doing, and that's where you're going to find them.
That is a great way to put it. That is a great, whether people like it or not, that is happening. Right. People are good, like especially our approach on YouTube, especially our reels or our shorts on YouTube. Our approach is put stuff out there that people are Googling. YouTube's second largest search engine in the world. Right. And when you Google something, it's going to pull it up. Even if you put it now in the AI with the ChatGPT stuff, like, hey, give me stuff about this, they're still pulling off your SEO, off of I know you guys know this kind of stuff, right? So you're putting it out there like, hey, how do you deal with, just since we were talking about depression, like how do you manage depression? Can a Christian be depressed? Like and you're putting it out there just to reach that person. This is like cliche as it is, that maybe they're in Kansas and they're just struggling. That, man, I just need something.
So how do you lay out your messages? Are you kind of going through the books of the Bible and then try to extract something practical, real time day, or do you just have issues and then you go back to the Bible verse? Like how do you lay it out? Question.
So I really try to I really try to lay it before God in prayer a ton of like, and now that sounds like super spiritual. All right, let me break, because that sounds like I'm like having this great moment with God. Here's what it looks like. Okay, I'm driving to work and I'm like, Lord, what do you want these people to hear?
Yeah.
Now I know what a lot of them are going through, especially as small of a church, but I don't want to just preach to their problems, because after a while you want to, like, maybe once in a while you're like, okay, cool, I'm glad he's preaching to me, but after a while you're like, wait a minute, he's just preaching to me. So like he's just bringing up my mess. Like, for the love of God, people know what I'm going through. Like, let it rest. So I just try to bring it before the Lord. And I'll use this series we did at the beginning of this year called 41. Okay. All right. I'm on a walk in January in my neighborhood, trying to get some extra steps in because I did not control myself. And here's what I love about the holidays, especially in America. Where else do you celebrate like the goodness of God with gluttony? Right. I mean, come on. Like, Lord, here's how thankful I am. I'm going to eat to the point where I hurt. Right. Anyhow, so in January, I'm like, well, I'm trying to do some walking, that kind of stuff, right? And I'm literally, at that point, we were in the Sermon on the Mount. I was going through line by line of the sermon. That's what I felt like you're supposed to be doing. And this viral post from like 2 or 3 years ago, I just feel it come up like just in my imagination, right? Like, and this guy posted this thing, he had number 41 tattooed on his wrist. Okay. And the whole post was all of the 40s in the Bible. Okay, so Noah, it rained for 40 days. Mm-hmm. All right, the Israelites, they walked in the desert for 40 years. Mm-hmm. Goliath taunted the Israelite army for 40 days. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness. With Lent, that leads up, the 40 days to Resurrection Sunday. You have Elijah. He was he took the trip to Mount Horeb for 40. Like all these different 40 days, every one of them has a 41. Like if you don't quit, you're going to see the breakthrough happen. Like the rain does stop, the miracle does come, the things do happen. Like 40 represents in the Bible trials, testing, pruning process, and hardships, right? So and we all go through those seasons. And you're like, man, am I ever going to get through this? It's like, yeah, 41, it will come. It absolutely will come.
It's interesting because I can see the entrepreneurial in your background coming out. I mean, we preach that a lot, and you know, we run a commission business. It's like, don't give up, because literally the next day could be the day of success.
100%. You don't.
You don't know how far away you are, but I love the comparison of 40. Like
100%.
The symbolism is the same, and what you're preaching, and also real life on a lot of different things.
And man, I gripped it when I remember this post, right? So I literally just pull it up on my phone on this walk, and I read it, and it's like exploding in my heart. And I'm like, man, okay. So in that moment, I was still in the Sermon on the Mount. We come out of the Sermon on the Mount, didn't plan it this way. We are right at Lent, 40 days to Resurrection Sunday. I just bring it to our church. I'm like, here's what I feel like God's showing me. And so I just start preaching. Well, it starts catching. So I do these week after week after we go well past Resurrection Sunday, week after week of just like, hey, 41 does come. It became such a like movement, I guess, for our church. We put all this stuff together in a little book, where people can hand it out. I mean, I've even like, I don't know how people feel about tattoos. I got it on me because it's like something that's how close it is to me. Interesting. Of like, the breakthrough will happen. Use depression. I struggle with it deeply. Right. But one day I know I won't. Right. The one day I won't. Like, I know with everything inside of me.
One step closer.
Yeah. Like, I'm a step closer today. It's like that. I don't know if you've ever seen that old, I don't know if it was out of a newspaper, but it's a guy who's like mining, and he's like cutting through the dirt, and it's like, don't quit. He didn't realize how close he was to the diamonds, right? I've seen that. And it's like, and that's me. Like, you know what? I'm one day closer.
That's it.
I'm one day closer. So that's how that came out. It was a simple thing like that. We just did a whole thing about how to follow Jesus. And I just feel like our nation is at a point where some people are just asking that question, like, okay, if he's real, if he is who he says he is, like, how do you follow him? Like, we got super granular.
It's really interesting you bring that up, because that was one of the questions I want to talk about, is that I feel like there's a little bit of a revival going on. Like, I don't know quite how to explain it other than talking about Christianity and Jesus and God seems to be a little bit more in vogue. Like, people are doing it. Bigger stars are doing it. Bigger podcasters are doing it. And I don't know. Do you feel that way?
I do, and I really saw that August, September. We saw it for sure. A lot of questions. I mean, even if you look, this is something I'm weird. I look at Google Trends all the time. Like, are we searching? How much are we searching? Like, is Jesus real? Is heaven? Like, all this kind of stuff, right? At that time, the Google search about Jesus was up like 2,600% across the, like, so even for us, if you look at our like Sunday, just like, we call them like a weekly focus, right? So, because I don't want it to just be a sermon. I want this to be something you chew on throughout the week, right? If you looked at that on our YouTube, you will see it go like 3,000, 8,000, 12,000, 72,000, 40-something thousand. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it was this massive jump. Like I titled something that exactly what you would not think that people would click on. It was How to Be Saved and Follow Jesus. One of the most practical sermons I've ever given. To me, this sound horrible. One of the most boring sermons I ever given. Like, I couldn't be funny. Right. I couldn't joke around. Like, I love doing that kind of stuff. Like, I love people thinking like, he might be an idiot, but I got something from that. The most simple thing, the most viewed sermon I've ever put in my life.
Well, I just wonder if it has something to do with there seems to be so much deception and non-truth in our world. Well, and I'm just wondering if people are getting tired of that and they are searching for the truth.
Yeah. I think, I deal with this stuff. We see it all the time at work, right? Of AI. Everyone's, what about AI stuff? I'm sure you guys see the same thing. Here's the thing. I'm a big proponent of it. I'm like, why? That's like,
well, it doesn't matter. It's here, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean?
I love how you put that. Like, whether you like it or not, it's happening. But you look at everything now, and you're like, well, is that real or is that AI?
Well, like a video 3 years ago used to be, that's it. That happened.
Yes.
There's no doubt. Now it's like,
you literally have to question all this stuff happening with hurricanes right now.
Right.
How many things? And I'm like, well, is this real?
Right.
Or is this just AI? I think because of that, as much as it is, in my opinion, it benefits our culture. At the same time, people are like, I don't want to question if this is real.
Right.
I don't want to question that. When we sat down before we hit record, I said, do you want me to be professional? Or do you just want me to be, you said, no, I want you to be authentic. Because that is a real thing. Like how everyone is looking. Can I trust this with all of who I am? Or do I need to go find something else?
Interesting. Where did you learn to memorize the Bible? Was that in Bible college or
No.
like do you know the Bible front to back, right?
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean, like, can you quote scripture?
I can probably. If
But
you
how do you learn to memorize that though?
I don't know. So here's the funny thing. I cheated all the way through high school. Like I hated school, hated all that kind of stuff. This is a God's honest truth. I read one book and I can remember all of school, and this is like in 6th or 7th grade. It was called The K. It was about a guy who got shipwrecked. That's the only one I read. I hated school, right? But when I gave my life to Christ, when I was saved, I started listening to all these different. I consumed it. They would say scriptures. Back then, YouTube wasn't even a thing. It was just I had to watch it on TV. They would say scriptures, but never tell me where they were at. And Google wasn't even like it was now. So I'm like digging, asking people, hey, I heard the preacher say this scripture that Jesus has come to give us life and life more abundantly. I can't find it. Where's it at? Well, it's John 10:10. So in my head, when I started teaching,
that was your
I
learning
never
mechanism.
want to have someone question where's that at.
Right.
I want to give you where it's at. So
Right.
you can go, I want you to go find it. I want you to go highlight it on your app or in your paper, whatever. But because the frustration I would have of like, for the love of God, literally, tell me where this is at so I can go read it, right? That's the whole reason why.
Interesting. That's really interesting. I've always wanted to ask ministers this. Like, I just think it's got to be such a difficult job because you're dealing with what other people are going through all the time. You have that burden on yourself all the time. So how do you ever, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, like how do you pay attention to your own burdens? Like, I mean, everybody's got their own, but like, do you just feel like your shoulders are heavy a lot of times? That's like 100%. A huge responsibility.
Yeah, I say it like this. A lot of times I'll see like, because a lot of my family works for the family business. And we'll see, and my family's, I'm very open. I mean, on this about my depression, how I've dealt with suicidal stuff, right? So sometimes my family would just check in like, hey, you okay? You seem down. And a lot of times I'll say, hey, listen, honestly, it's just, I call this a heavy pastoral care week. Like, there's a lot of pastoral care of just people going through.
What a good way to put it.
Crap.
Like,
and
like really heavy stuff. Right?
Heavy stuff.
Like your person right next to you just don't ever know what they're going through.
Man, my mom said, I've always heard my mom say this, and it's more true than I've ever seen in my life. Every single person is battling something.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. There's people I know right now that have some of the greatest opportunities at their fingertips, and they are winning. But the question is this God or is this, you know what I'm saying? Like how do I use this? How do I steward this? And then I've got people that are like, hey, my mom was just told she has 3 weeks or 3 years. We don't know. That's a conversation this week. And so it's like, I want to navigate all of that the best. I want to be the encourager. Like, hey, I'm praying with you that God's going to lead you. And at the same time, man, hey, if you need me, just swing by there. I'm there, without a doubt. If you need someone just to vent to, I'm there. I got other people just walking through hell. And
Right.
Hey, man, this person got laid off at work, and I don't know what that means for me, and the holidays are weeks away.
Right.
It's just these heavy things, and how do you deal with it? I don't know. When I figure it out,
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know. When I figure it out, I'll write a book on it. That's what I'll do, because I don't know. I haven't figured it out.
Well, sure. I'm assuming you're a good listener. I mean, I imagine that is a big portion of it. Just listening.
Yeah, my cousin, I'm super close to. I said he's got a great church in our city, and him and I, we're honestly really good friends as well. And one day I call him and I go, hey man, I'm on the way to this situation, and it's not good. Like it's not good. And it's like, I don't know what to say. And in that moment, he goes, let me tell you a quick story. He said there was somebody in our church, a core member, and the husband commits suicide. Right? He was battling, commits suicide. One of his staff members come in and say, hey, we got to go. Like, we're leaving this meeting. This is what happens. And they get in the truck and they're driving, and it's silent in the truck. And my cousin Josh goes, I don't know what we're about to say. As they're turning in the neighborhood, I don't even know what we're about to say.
Right.
And the staff member looks at him, older staff member looks at him and he goes, it has nothing to do with what you're going to say. You're just going to be there.
Right.
That's what they don't need you to say anything. Just be there. So in my moment where I'm on the way to a super horrible situation, that stuck with me. Just show up. Just be there. Like, it's just, I think that's one of the greatest, just be there for the person and don't try to fix them. That's the
That's what my wife says all the time.
Yeah, brother. I'm telling like that is a big thing too. I'll sometimes ask the question, hey, do you want me to be with you?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to try to give you some advice?
Right.
You know, and a lot of times it's like, man, just sit here.
Right.
I'll just sit at lunch, especially because like I'm working. I'll meet people at lunch, and man, I mean, I'll chain swallow some Longhorn chicken tenders in a heartbeat, just listening to somebody for sure. And I'll just listen, and that's what a lot of people want. They just want to be heard.
Yeah.
People just want to be heard in a world that is. This sounds like preachy, but in a world that's so loud and millions of notifications.
Isn't that the irony of
Yeah,
it?
people just want them to like, man, just hear me.
Yeah.
Just hear what I'm going through. You don't have to fix it. If people want you to fix it, they'll ask you, what do you think I should do here? They just want to be heard, man. And just where you're like, hey, I hear you and I see you. And I think if you can do that, I think you're already moving that thing in the right direction.
Do you ever deal with a little bit of guilt of like, there's nothing else I can do. Like, this is such a horrible situation.
Oh, yeah.
I've reached there's nothing I can do. How do I'm kind of speaking from like when you see somebody that you know going through a horrible situation or somebody that you know that their loved one died, like you just feel absolutely helpless.
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, like, I don't know if you feel like this, but sometimes I'm like a natural fixer.
Yeah.
Like if I show up, like, okay, I can fix this.
Right.
And there's so many things, even in the church world, and because we are so big into philanthropy, like if someone's like, hey, my light's about to turn off. I'm like, no, they're not. We're going to fix that. We're going to do that. But then there's the big moments, like you said, stuff that you just can't just fix with a check or, you know what I'm saying? Or there's those kind, absolutely, there's that guilt. And I think if you have a heart at all, pastor or not, you just like, hey, I actually just kind of enjoy the people I'm around, even if they annoy me or whatever. I think sometimes you're going to feel that of like, man, I can't do any more. And I love this person so friggin' much.
Right.
But I can't do any more about it.
Wow.
And I think to me, that's where I have to lean on my faith.
Right.
Because sometimes I'll try to be Jesus, and I suck at being Jesus. Right? Like I'll try to be the fixer, I'll try to be the savior. And he did and sometimes I'd be like, oh yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm just little old Trev.
Yeah.
He can, and sometimes we just have to put it.
Yeah, that's really well.
Does that make sense?
Let's tell me some of the charities you guys do. Like what are
so big? One of the big things is benevolence.
Okay.
Just within our church, right? So
like, what's that mean?
So people that are just like you said, like lights or groceries. You know, I grew up in church, like I said. I worked at church for 10.5 years, and I've been guilty of this 100%. Like, so I'm not throwing any shade or any stones, but I shouldn't say, I'm going to take ownership. I would send money to other places, wherever. We'll even use the prison for an example. I would do something like that, but there's a family that's in our church that the parents are grinding as hard as they can. They're doing everything they can, but they can't even put groceries on the table. Or go even a step further. They are so anxious about Christmas. But I'm making sure somebody that I never met, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I think for me, it's Acts 1:8, where Jesus, he goes, listen, you're going to be my witnesses, right? And then he starts listing these different places. And I don't remember off the top of my head, so you have to forgive me. But he starts with where they're at. Mm-hmm. He says, you're going to be my witnesses here. Mm-hmm. He says, Jerusalem, I'm almost positive. Then in Samaria, and then to the ends of the world. So like for us, we took that to heart, like start with who you're around. Who is sitting in our church, who is struggling. That's who we're going to help.
I think that's great because, again, nothing wrong with it, but you see a lot of big churches like I'm going to this foreign country, I'm going here, and of course everybody but I'm just like, man, there's so much like right here.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, why do you have to go anywhere?
Right, and that's right. I think there's a time and place for that,
Yeah.
sure, but there's people, like you said, sitting right in our service that are going through stuff, or their family. That's how we get all of our wheelchair ramp, like, because that's another big thing we do. So we have a whole, like, our people were just, man, if you give them vision, they're so generous. And like, we bought this whole trailer, filled it with tools. So we'll show up this Friday and Saturday. We'll have a crew show up on Friday, a crew show up on Saturday, and build this whole wheelchair ramp for a family. I believe this one is a widow that just can't get out of her, literally cannot get out of her house without help.
Wow.
So how is that okay for me to live? And that is happening. Right. And if I have the means to do something, even if it's not financial, I can get people to rally around and we can show up. And these people don't pay a dime for these. We show up.
Right.
They have to sign so they don't sue us. And then we just help these people out. It's never about, well, are they going to come to our church? I don't give a rip about any of that.
Right.
It's, did they feel seen? Did they feel loved? So like we start with benevolence, the church family. Then we go outside of that of like, hey, is there someone around here? That kind of stuff. And then we go further into like the prisons now. So also Alpha Omega.
Yes,
obviously
familiar
Logan would know them,
Yeah.
so we support them. Epic Cure Food Pantry.
Okay.
I think Sonny and Ken I don't really know them that well, just through passing. They have the largest food pantry in St. Johns County.
Wow.
Just tremendous what they are doing and what they are they put their own money into it, go after it with their own, moving literally, I think they move like 1 million, and they're partnered with Feeding America here in Jackson, or Feeding Northeast Florida here in Jacksonville. And they're in Putnam County and St. Johns County and in Flagler County. Just this couple that just saw a need and just showed them and go down and said, hey, if we can financially support that, we're going to support that as well.
Yeah,
So
that's really neat.
those are our main kind of like food. And we've done a little bit with Operation New Hope. Shout out my mother-in-law who's helped us get connected with them, with the clothing. These people are coming out of jail or prison. And they have nothing. These people have no family, nothing, and they're just trying to get back into the workforce. They literally don't have clothes to go to an interview. So we were talking about where Jesus says, clothe the naked. Mm-hmm. So my mother-in-law, Mrs. B, she'll be like, hey, this person needs something and absolutely, it's done. Like without a doubt, we're going to help them out, whatever we can do. We just started helping with that side of it and helping cool. in that way. So that's kind of we look at Matthew 25, feed people, clothe them, visit those in prison. Wow. Those are kind of our main.
That's really cool. Well, you've kind of already gone into this for me, but obviously social media has a huge role in how you minister and how you reach people through the prisons and through, because I went the first time Logan told me about you and I went to your website, I listened to that video and it was a nice video. It's like pointing right there, but it's like you kind of had that energy and that feeling of, yeah, I mean, this is how tech and this is how you reach 100%. People now.
Yeah, man, everyone has it at their fingertips.
Yes.
Everyone does. Can they swipe it away? Absolutely. Can we reach a few that we know it's 100%? Like, okay, so I'll use like the cool numbers of that one sermon, 71,000 people. 71,000 people didn't watch start to finish. Like, I'm not going to try to pretend that was it. But if I get a percentage of the end of that did, that heard it, even with the shorts and stuff like that, if I can get a 45 second clip and my watch time on that is 109%, 119%, and we've got 40,000 people watching, these people are hearing for us what we believe and what we would hope they hear hope in it. Right. And like that there is something better than what you might be feeling or going through or battling or whatever it might be. Wow. So like that's how, if I can get that kind of stuff in front of people in 45 seconds where, again, that watch time is 109, 112%. Even give me 88%. Give me not, where they can get the message without. If I could just get them to click like, that would be wonderful.
Well, I'm sure.
That's my biggest problem is I can't get them. That would help me so much in the YouTube algorithm, but it is.
Well, your mom can't like every single thing, man. Come on.
I'm telling you.
Give her a praise.
Sandra D, she does. If you see the ones with one like, it's my mom. I promise you that.
That is so funny. Well, wrapping up here, if someone wanted to get in the ministry, like how, I know you kind of went through your story a little bit, but how do you really know that you have the heart to serve like you're doing? Because, I think most people want to do something but being a minister, like you're really doing it. Yeah. Like you're facilitating hardships, you're leading people, you have your own life. Like it is a huge job. Like how do you know you're built for that?
I don't remember who said this. Someone like 1700s, 1800s said this. Do anything else, and if you can't shake it, then go into ministry. Do anything else you can do. Okay. It's not glamorous. We see the guys, the top, I wouldn't even say 1% of preachers that get the glamour side. And I'm not jealous of those guys at all. I don't want that. Like I don't want that responsibility. Right. I don't want to have that many people with eyes. First of all, I'm going to disappoint you in a heartbeat. And I'm going to say something I shouldn't or whatever, But if you see it as a glamorous side, and I've been there, without a doubt. You see it as a glamorous side.
But do you think a lot of people get into it because of that
There
motivation?
was a season. I don't think this is now, because here's what I think people are realizing.
It's just too much work.
It's
You
too
gotta
much work,
figure
and you
it
don't
out.
make money.
Right.
There is this whole idea, because of the 80s, and I get it, because of the 80s and what people saw on TV, they think, I hear this mess. Oh, the preacher's taking the money. And I will literally laugh, like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Are you like, I drive a 2017 Silverado, and that's like, there's nothing wrong with having a nice vehicle. There's nothing,
Right.
I'm wearing my church shirt. You know, how do you really think that? But that's the mentality of some people of like, oh, the preacher's taking all the money. Maybe. I don't know a single one, and I know quite a few of them that are doing well. I will literally make that as a clear. I seriously don't know if I know one that's doing well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's doesn't have any financial whatever. So they see that, oh, I'm up on stage, you can control a room, and maybe I'm going to get paid. That's not how it works. It's that you're going to sit in the hospital with the family that they just lost a loved one that had a heart attack. That no one gives a rip how good of a speaker you are at that moment.
Right.
They don't give a crap. You're going to get the call. My family just got evicted.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do?
Right.
I don't care how no one cares at that point how many good points I had.
Did you know at a young age, though, that you were able to see people and not pass judgment? Like, I feel like you have that skill, because that's not
really
easy to
good
do, you know, because
That's a
somebody
really good
like me,
question.
maybe like, well, what did you do to get yourself in that? Like,
Right.
That's not the most loving thing to think sometimes,
Man,
but
that's a
I would
great
think
question,
as a minister, you would have that skill.
Yeah, that's, so the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that, I think I can get emotional thinking about my parents, because we were so poor.
Mm-hmm. You've been there, done that.
Man, I got made fun of my whole life for how I dressed. Now I've got a forehead the size of Texas, but
You got a full head of hair, man.
buddy,
You're doing good.
no, listen, I'm trying to grow it out too. It is so, but I think because I lived that.
Okay.
I truly think it was because of that. Like, it was like a value. It wasn't never said, but you never called somebody, you just didn't judge someone. Because we were like, our family was the one getting the car repossessed while we were inside church. That is a true story. Wow. We're in church on a Sunday morning, and the van, remember the big Chevy Astro vans, is getting towed off. We're the ones that are getting evicted and living in, like, this sounds like this isn't woe is me. This is a true story. I was in 9th grade. We were living in a storage unit. I'm brushing my teeth in a public bathroom at high school, showering at the high school, and I don't want to tell any of my friends. I think because of that.
Right. That just.
And I know, listen, I've got a million issues myself that I'm battling. So, yeah, I think that's why. I've never really thought about it like that, but why I could look at someone and be like, hey, maybe you did put yourself in this position, but this isn't the end of your story. Like, there is a 41. Like, there is, you can turn this thing around. Like, if you are still breathing, as cliche as it sounds, I'm not trying to get my Tony Robbins on here, but like, if you're still breathing, you can turn this thing around without a doubt. So I think that's why. That's a really good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. It's a really good question.
I'm glad I could knock it out of the park, at least on one question.
Man,
right?
I'm telling you.
Well, this was amazing. I mean, this is, I could go on so many different topics with this, but thank you for being the first minister to the Hometown Jax podcast. I know everybody's going to love it, and check out Champion Church online.
Yeah, search Champion
You don't even
Church,
have to be in
Augustine.
prison to check it out. Right?
Right. But if you are, we're on that now too. If you're like, well, that's where I'm going.
Either
We'll see
way,
you there.
It was great, Trevor.
Thank you, man. Seriously, thanks
Yeah.
for having me. Good stuff.
The Hometown Jax podcast is recorded and produced by First Coast Mortgage Funding, located in the heart of Jacksonville. Do you want to be our next guest? Visit our website at hometownjaxpodcast.com. We can't wait to hear your story.